Welcome in this learning video. In this learning video, we're going to tell you more about a model we often use. It's the model designed by Daniel Hoffman, and it's called the Me, Us, It model. It's very simple. Let me explain. It knows three elements: the me, the us, and the it. And we need to start with the me. And when you start with the me, you check in with your team or your members in how are you in this as a human being, as an individual. What's your behavior? So the first one, it's all about behavior. Then you can take the next step. It's about us. This is a step you can't miss out. And the us is about how am I as a human being related to others in the team. And we like to call it culture. A very important step. And to be honest, when we are invited by a client, most of the time we need to design this, the it. You know, this is about design the future as the Future Talent Factory. But this one is very big, you know. If we need to design the future, then first we need to check in with the individuals in the culture, and then we can design the future. Very important. So I hope, honestly, with this message, that you're never going to prepare yourself as an organization in designing the future without checking in on the human beings in the team and making culture. And making culture isn't that hard to do. It's very simple. The first steps you need to take is get together as a team and ask one another, what do we find important in the team? Which three elements, values, are important for us? And it could be, you know, respect, transparency, and share thoughts or other things. And when you made up these three elements, you're not done yet. Because what you need to do after setting these three elements is you need to talk about it as a team. What means respect for me, for you, for others? Because it might be, and often it is that respect for me has a perception that is totally different than with somebody else. And just having the talk with each other about the element or the value respect makes it very clear as a team. You build culture immediately. We use the culture canvas as a sort of a guideline to make culture in the team. So, recap of my story now is: first step to take when you want to move towards something new in the future is check in with the individuals that are, you know, involved in it. After that, and when this is okay, then you move on to the us. What is our culture? Where do we stand for? And then third step, last step, not the first step, last step is let's design our future. I wish you all the best with this knowledge. Thank you for listening. An example for you all to make it more clear. Last year we had a client in the food and beverage industry, and they were in the middle of a redesign, and they asked us to make the future, the it, with the people who are in the company. And when I started, I said, okay, this isn't possible because first I need to check in with, you know, the human beings in the redesign. Let's see how they feel. Now, how did they feel? I think you can imagine they didn't feel safe at all because people had left the company. They were over and need to make the future. So the first thing I did was bring in safety. You know, have a good conversation with one another, also with the individual, and just let them talk, you know. And after we created the safety, then we made the step to the us. And what surprised me is that they were already, as good team members, busy with making the future. They had made a list with concrete things, and this is what we still do in the future and this is what we don't do in the future. And I said, forget about the list. We need to build culture together before we design the future. So what we did is we had very simple culture meetings with one another, small culture meetings with not more than 9 persons, and we checked in with one another what's important to us. Who are we as a community of professionals? What do we stand for within the company? And after making up their minds, and it was better together, because I asked, is it better together, more beautiful together, more hospitable together? What is it? What's the focus? It was better together. Then the second question I asked, to make up the 3 points, what do we need to get better together? And the answer was that they need clarity, they need visibility, and they needed connection. And we had good conversations about visibility, transparency, clarity, and connectivity. And at the end, we went on building the future. And I think it's a big success, because the list with things we still do in the future and we don't do in the future, it was left out. We had a good conversation about how is the future looking within now and a few years, and what are we going to do more, or other things to do. So not about the facts of today and to the future, but it was far more about dreaming about a future where the meaning of people is growing constantly. I hope this example helps you to make up your mind, and I truly hope that you all have a good culture conversation together. Good luck with that.